It's all on now, motherfucker.
There we go, bro. There we go.
So obviously, we wanted to keep this short and sweet. It's like a weekly one.
We did.
So my thought process is like, let's have a weekly roundup of your week, my week. What's pissed you off this week? Sometimes you just get shit out in the open. And I don't know, let's like pick a topic each week that people probably having these conversations.
We're going to have to talk about your upcoming 30th, I think we're really.
I mean...
So, do you want to start with what's pissed you off this week? Because mine's a rant.
So, I don't think it's pissed me off. Something that I'm doing that is weird as shit, mate. Right.
Yeah.
So, you ever, right, it happened to me today. I went in the gym, literally walked up to the gym to get my steps in, went on the Stairmaster, went to the toilet. Yeah. Right. Now, when you go on a toilet and you lock the door, it makes it go red on the outside, doesn't it? Right. So you know someone's in there.
All right. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right. So you're just in there doing your business, whether it's a wee or a poo, it's up to you. Anyway, so I comes off the Stairmaster and I went to the toilet. We'll not delve too much into that. And
your legs were your legs like jelly?
Yeah. I wasn't enjoying myself, mate. I won't lie to you. So I sits down on the toilet and thought, right, jackpot. Let's just have 5-10 minutes of Jamie time. Let's just relax. Anyway, like someone tried to open the door. I mean, you can tell the door's closed and it's locked.
Even it's got the red little disc outside on it.
And it's got the red little disc. But you know what pissed me off even more? It's what I did. So instead of just going, sorry, mate, I'm on the toilet, I went, yeah, I'm in here. Like, why did I do that? Why? But I've looked back, and it's something I've always done. I've either gone really high pitched, occupied, or I've gone, yep, taken.
It's because you're a nice guy. I would have said some swear words, mate.
Yeah, but so it's not something that's pissed me off. It's just something that I'm very, don't know, I'm just a bit conscious of it, mate. It's just, yeah. How about you?
So mine was Saturday night, right? So we went out. Long story, car crash of the night. Ended up in Stockton, right, at about 12 o'clock midnight, and had zero battery on my phone, zero battery on my watch. Fortunately, I had my wallet, but equally, you don't want to be in Stockton without any communication options, do you?
No, you don't.
So I paid £3 in what was ever Trader's Jack's, whatever it's called now, for this tiny little battery that you plug into your phone and you walk around with. It didn't even give me enough juice, mate, to fucking command an Uber. That's how shit it was. And the woman said, if you bring it back today, bearing in mind it was already the next day because it was like 12:30 or something. We shut at 2. If you bring it back, you'll only be charged £3. I was charged £9,
mate. I think we need to get in touch with trading standards here, mate.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough. Mugged clean off
there. But yeah, so podcast episode 2 seems to have gone down well. Had loads of positive feedback, which is good.
Yeah, so feedback's been good. The analytics have been good, mate.
Very, very, very positive. Even Sarah, lying in bed last night, was like, you guys seem to have such a fun time. And I'm like, we did. It's good therapy. But yeah, so it's Jamie Rogan's 30th birthday coming up, right? So I've got some pop quiz questions for you, right? So question 1 is...
Go for it.
What are you going to leave in your 20s and not take into your 30s, brother?
So I've actually literally just been to see my mum earlier on today.
Right.
And we were talking about something quite similar to this. And something that really pisses myself off about myself is giving a shit what other people think. Now, now I understand there has to be a certain level of that. You have to give a certain level of shit because you can't just go around quoting "this is free speech" and being a horrible individual. That's me. Do you know what I mean? That's for me.
Unless you're Donald Trump, right? Unless you're Donald Trump. He's doing all right, isn't he?
Yeah. But when I've thought about it, I've actually, since I was 21, so up until 21, I honestly didn't give a shit. I went on that
Yeah.
TV program. I'm going to send you the link through to it after this.
Right.
Yeah, and went on the BBC, and whether it's up to you, mate, you'll be able to tell me. But whether I made a sausage out myself in front of 8 million people, I'm not entirely sure. But also, I also didn't give a shit at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's a knock-on effect of the people I've surrounded myself with, or just me, maybe as a person, or work or whatnot. But I've found myself giving too much of a flying f what other people think.
Yeah.
And something, obviously, we spoke about it. The photo shoot massively empowered me, mate, to a point where
Yeah.
probably give me my voice back, my confidence back.
Yeah.
And it was the workout bench for a start was something that I'd always thought about and wanted to do, but I don't think I had the balls, which is wrong, really, because the whole thought process is to help people, and
Yeah.
like, why wouldn't? So anyway, yeah. Long story short, mate. As I go into my 30s on Friday, I'm going to stop giving a shit what people think, and that's that. Like, simple
Bosh.
as boom.
Mic drop, mate. Mic drop. I like that. So I didn't actually mature till I was 30. So you're like head and shoulders above where I was when I was 30, right? I mean, I had a relatively decent career, but I was just, I honestly don't think I grew up until I was 30. And you're so more advanced than I was in terms of your just common sense and
Appreciate
yeah. I mean, I was a nightmare. I know I'm still a bit of a nightmare now, but I get away with it, right? Because I've learned how to get away with it. But I think you're dead right. And don't forget about the social circle thing that I was banging on about a couple of weeks ago. It's like the older you get, you realise that you need less people around you.
Yeah.
But those people need to be the core people that you can depend on and stuff like that. So, but you'll figure it out, mate. And 30, I mean, I said it was downhill from 21, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, just tell me what you think. So, question two, right, is you're obviously super driven, right? But I have mentioned to you a couple of times, and you keep kind of seem to bought in it about like just being content with what you've got.
Yeah.
And I know you're not going to do this, so I want to know what goals and challenges you've got for yourself. In the, I'm going to call it the Q1 of the 30s, so your early 30s. So 30 33, what you're going to set yourself challenges wise?
So I think the first thing that's quite important is there is another promotion process currently on.
I love a promotion process,
Yeah.
don't you?
And while the going's going good, then maybe I should.
While you're on a roll, yeah.
I think the priority for Q1, the first goal is I've tweaked my back ever so slightly, and
Yeah.
obviously I've recovered from quite a bad back injury. So this week has been non-existent in terms of weight training and stuff. So
Right.
that's a priority for me, just to rest and recuperate. But if I'm completely honest with you, I'm kind of I'm kind of taking a step back from my professional life in a way, not taking it any less serious or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, being from the photo shoot and stuff like that, I'm just kind of a bit like, right. So throughout my 20s, I've probably done things ass over tip, to be honest with you. Throughout my 20s, I threw myself into work.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I've reaped the benefits. I've got a very good job that I absolutely thoroughly love.
Yeah.
And I've got a house, a lovely house. And
Just been valued for a lot of money.
I'm quite comfortable. So like so I'm more chasing my passions in my early 30s, I think.
Good.
So if I was going to say from 30 to 31 instead of like a Q for the first 30, it would be just my passions. So I am massively big on helping people, hence why I joined the fire service.
Yeah.
I'm a huge empath, so I like to see other people do well. It's a race to the top, and it's definitely not a race to the bottom when it comes to me. I want to see all my friends and family do well.
No, because you're a nice guy.
Someone's got to be. So I think if I was going to give myself a realistic goal, mate, it's to grow this.
Yeah.
There is something in the pipe work at the moment. I'm looking at industrial units, which is a conversation we'll have off camera. But
Here we go.
I know. I've been inspired by something. I think it was either December, November last year, when I went. No, it was January actually. Sorry, where I went to a competition with my partner, and it just left me thinking with more questions. That I think there's something that like the TS 1615, I think that area could benefit from. And yeah.
What we need to talk about off camera.
Yeah, we need to talk about it off camera because I don't want anyone else to pinch my idea. So that bit as well. So there's potential new business. I'm working on myself, working on my passions. I want
Love
to,
it.
yeah, I want to be like you, Paul. I want to be the most interesting person in the room. So you've got any tips for me there, mate?
Once you see through this veneer, mate, you're going to be massively disappointed.
Yeah, so they're my plans.
They sound good, and mate, you know I'll help you out, bro, along the way as best I can. So, and the other thing I want to help you out with as well is you've mentioned a couple of times about you mentioned on a post a couple of weeks ago about being in a dark space. And it wasn't until the photo shoot that kind of got you out of that. I think what it'd be good because I know you're passionate about talking about mental health. So, what was that? And then, what can I do as your wingman / co-host in this fantastic effort to help you?
Right. So, I'll go a little bit into it. Long story short, I wrecked my back, and it was to a point where, I mean, you came around to see me, but for those who might be watching this, I mean, you made a joke on the last podcast that no one does, but hey ho, yeah.
Turns out you were wrong, brother.
Yeah. So I basically slipped or had two bulging discs, and it was a long course of. I'm lucky that I've got private healthcare. I don't pay for it. My mum pays for it. I'm not a baller. So I was lucky that I was in with the osteopath once a week and I was in with the physio once a week throughout the entirety of my recovery, which I think helped me get back to work very quick. So I'm someone who I can't be sitting there stewing. I'm constantly thinking of new things and this, that, and the other. So yeah, I was basically bedbound or sofa bound for 3 months. 3 months, which is really not that long a time for the injury that I had. I ended up going back to work on modified duties for a month or so as well. And basically, if I'm going to be brutally honest, mate, it was shit. I don't suffer from negative mental health. I've never had anything. What I can. The thing is I don't understand mental health to be able to say that I've been affected by it or.
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
It was probably the shittest time in my life, if I'm completely honest with you. My social circle at the time was very small. Yourself and my mum were the only two people who could. And something to point out is we weren't as close as we are now. Do you know what I mean?
No, we weren't.
Yeah, that meant an awful lot. Don't get me wrong. I had no visitors. I couldn't sit for longer than 30 minutes without having to stand up unless I was on diazepam. So there was nothing I could do just apart from just slaver on myself and watch telly. I know. And I think part of this process, mate, when it comes to the workout bench is speaking to people to try and like better my understanding and try and understand what was going through my head at the time. Other people I know will go through that who perhaps aren't as lucky to be as mentally. I'm not going to say that they're mentally weak. I'm just maybe is not as mentally strong as me. To understand that people do go through it, and it's really important to set goals when you come out the end of it. So all the time I was sat on the sofa for 3 months, I could see my body getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and that's that. So you're an active person, right? Let's not forget, super active person, and you're sat bedbound essentially. You can't move, and you're watching your muscles that you've worked hard for deteriorate because you've passed the 2-3 week mark, and you sat there thinking, "I can take vitamin A, but it ain't gonna maintain them gains." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So even and this is no disrespect to my mum, but she doesn't know in terms of like nutrition for the gym. Probably until after the injury when I did some digging with Mark, my PT, that I probably didn't know as much about nutrition as I should have. So it was just easy stuff that I ate really, and I could see my body composition it was shit, mate, and that was obviously I run a business. I have a driveway business, so I couldn't do anything with that. And that was at a really busy peak time. So financially, it was hitting me. That's something I quite rely on when it comes to being able to enjoy my summers and things like that. So I think when I come out the end of it, it was really, really, really important for me to have goals. And my main priority was, I think I probably took my fitness, my health, and my well-being for granted. And it was all about getting myself get myself the best I've ever been before I was 30. And that was it.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. I went through a micro version of what you've. Well, I say mine was about the same time. So last year when around about the same time, because I had a bad back at the same time.
Yeah.
I had this exactly the same thing, and I was talking to somebody the other day who she's got 2 bulging discs. She's a dance teacher, and her head's in the shed. She's like, I can't do what I do. And I was like, it's going to be a slow road to recovery. You just need to take each step at a time. I mean, you know what my setup's like. I've got for people can't see, I've got a walk pad, which is there, that I pull down. I lift this desk up every morning and I walk for 3 hours every morning. And that sorts my back out. And there was a couple of times when it was at its worst, I know I was hungover, but I remember lying on the chair in the front room with my legs kind of over the puffy and my bum on the puffy. So I was laid vertical, but my legs were in an L shape. And I just thought, if this is the rest of my life, I can't handle this. And I persevered, and Sarah and the kids were like, I'll do that. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it. Fuck it, I'm not going to let it beat me. And I was getting up and I was just even putting stuff in the dishwasher, man. It's the movement from there to there. It was so crippling, but what gave me the solace was it was all down my leg. It was all like the sciatic pain down my leg. The square of my spine, and to this day, touch wood, it feels solid. It feels brick rock solid. And because it was just the nerve pain, I was like, I'm gonna work through this.
Yeah.
This is not gonna get me down. I'm working through it. I'm gonna beat it. And I think it probably helped me recover a little bit quicker. But I can always remember going to see the doctor guy, and he said, stop training for 18 months. And he saw the look on my face, and I felt my eyes filled up, and I'm like, this is what I need. I need to train. And I followed his advice for 3 weeks.
As you do, yeah.
Go on then. Sorry, I'm setting the dog out. But yeah, mate, I hear you, mate. But we're not going to get in those spaces, man, because we're going to beat it.
We're in a total different place, mate. Literally, the amount of close I've got. I'm not going to say an entirely new friendship group. I've got another friendship group. I spoke to about it, and it's like, the comeback's better than than the setback, and it is what it is. It's just frustrating. I think the thing that worries me is this going to be something that's ongoing, where I'm probably going to be buckled as I get older. But then prevention's better than cure, and the last thing I want at 30 is to be getting a operation on my back. So it's just like all I've been doing all this week. I'm off work, which is frustrating.
Yeah, handy or frustrating, one or two.
Yeah. But I've just been walking to the gym and back, which is 10k steps. And when I get to the gym, literally 30 minutes of just stretching, just everything, full body, not just my back, shoulders, everything. And then going on the Stairmaster for half an hour. And then walking back. But it's just a setback in my fitness journey. I've just been moved up to 3,000 calories. And then this happens, and it's like, right, here's them calories, the extra calories you were allowed. Let's take 200 back off you. And it's like,
sometimes you've got to take a step back, take a step forward in life, and that's all you need to think of it like that, right? So, you'll win, we'll prevail, and mate, put the bulging disc. You're young, you're lucky, right? So my bottom disc's dying, and that's the one that was the bad one that was pressing at the nerve, and he was like, that needs to suck back in on its own before it fully dies, or it's going to be stuck out, turns to rubber, and stuck in that nerve for the rest of your life. And I can't go in and trim it because it's stuck in the nerve.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, I'll stop doing deadlift.
As if anyone needs an excuse. Sound.
That's it. I'm no more squatting and no more deadlifts. That's it, bro.
All right, for someone like you who's got decent legs, mate.
Bless you.
Just lastly,
yeah.
So it is my 30th birthday coming up. Have you got a single piece of advice for the next 10 years for me?
Honestly, just keep doing what you're doing, brother. Because, like I say, you're a top lad. You're lovely. Nobody's got a bad word to say about you. And you know, you've got the career nailed. You've got your fizz nailed. You've got your house nailed. It's like, you know, a relationship, some babies or something like that would be the next natural trajectory. But equally, mate, I've got 2 kids, and that's not the advice that I'm dispensing these days. Bro, do you know what I mean? And so then it would be just go travel, but just keep doing what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate it, mate, and I appreciate you jumping on and just having a catch up. It's nice just to have a catch up and have a chat. And therapy, mate.
Therapy, baby.
Therapy. Right. Well, let's just hope I don't end up in a toilet with someone trying to open the door anytime soon.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Just put your big man voice on.
Occupied.
You said occupied as well. Not just like, I'm in here, bro.
Yeah, drop the deuce, pal. Right, mate.
Right.
Well,
have a fantastic birthday weekend. I know you alluded to what you've got planned, but I will. I'll give you a call after this anyway, and we'll have a proper chat.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Inform you of some stuffs.
Right, I'll speak in a bit.
Catch you in a bit, brother. Bye.
Bye.